In this video, we are going to be talking about what happens when you drink coffee in the morning. Before we dive in, please make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our future episodes. Let's get started. Number 1. Antioxidant power. First thing that happens when you have your cup of joe is that you are getting a boost of antioxidants into your system. Antioxidants are substances that protect our cells from free radicals, which are unstable molecules that can damage our cells and contribute to aging and disease. Studies have found that coffee is a rich source of antioxidants, especially polyphenols, which have been shown to have various health benefits such as reducing inflammation and protecting against heart disease. One study published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry found that coffee has more antioxidant capacity than any other common beverage, including tea, beer, wine, and soft drinks. The amount of antioxidants in coffee depends on several factors such as the type of bean, the brewing method, and how long the grounds are brewed. Generally, darker roasts have more antioxidants than lighter roasts because the longer beans are roasted, the more antioxidants they develop. Different brewing methods also extract different amounts of antioxidants. For example, French press coffee tends to have more antioxidants than drip brewed coffee. It is important to note that the amount of antioxidants in coffee is only one factor to consider when evaluating its overall health effects. Other factors such as caffeine content and brewing methods also play a role. While coffee is generally safe for most people when consumed in moderation, it is important to be aware of potential side effects and to consult with a healthcare professional if you have any concerns. Number 2. Metabolism and weight. Many people swear by their morning cup of coffee as a way to kickstart their metabolism and aid in weight loss. And science actually supports these claims. Caffeine in coffee stimulates the central nervous system, which can lead to increased energy expenditure and thermogenesis. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that caffeine increased metabolic rate by an average of 3 to 4%. Additionally, the stimulant effect of caffeine can increase physical activity, which further contributes to calorie expenditure. Coffee also has a thermogenic effect, meaning that it can increase body temperature and the amount of calories burned. A study published in the International Journal of Obesity found that caffeine increased resting metabolic rate by 4.2%, while high doses increased it by 11%. Some studies have also suggested that coffee may help with weight loss by reducing appetite and increasing feelings of fullness. However, the evidence is mixed and more research is needed to determine the effects of coffee on appetite and weight loss. It is important to keep in mind that coffee alone is not a magic bullet for weight loss and should be combined with a healthy diet and exercise for optimal results. Number 3. Inflammation effects. Coffee has been associated with a reduced risk of certain inflammatory conditions such as Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's disease, and rheumatoid arthritis. The main active compound in coffee, caffeine, has been shown to have anti-inflammatory properties. A study published in the Journal of Neurochemistry found that caffeine reduced inflammation in the brain by inhibiting the production of pro-inflammatory cytokines such as tumor necrosis factor alpha and interleukin-1 beta. Another study published in the Journal of the American College of Nutrition found that coffee consumption was associated with a lower risk of developing rheumatoid arthritis. The researchers suggest that the anti-inflammatory properties of coffee may be responsible for this association. However, it is important to note that the relationship between coffee consumption and inflammation is complex and can vary depending on several factors such as the brewing method, the amount of coffee consumed, and individual health factors. More research is needed to fully understand the anti-inflammatory effects of coffee and its potential therapeutic benefits. Number 4. Liver protection. Studies have shown that moderate coffee consumption may offer some protection against liver diseases such as non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, and even alcohol-related liver disease. One study published in the journal Clinical Nutrition and Hepatology found that people who consumed 1 to 4 cups of coffee per day had a lower risk of developing non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, the most common form of liver disease. The study suggests that the beneficial effect of coffee on the liver may be due to its antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. Another study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that coffee consumption was associated with a lower risk of developing alcohol-related liver disease. The researchers suggest that moderate coffee consumption may help to reduce the harmful effects of alcohol on the liver. However, it's important to note that these studies do not suggest that coffee consumption can cure liver disease, and people with liver disease should still avoid excessive alcohol consumption and follow a healthy lifestyle. Number 5. Brain and focus. Coffee has a stimulating effect on the brain due to its caffeine content, which can enhance cognitive performance and increase alertness. Caffeine in coffee blocks a neurotransmitter called adenosine, which promotes sleepiness and relaxation. By blocking adenosine, caffeine increases the levels of other neurotransmitters such as dopamine and serotonin, which can improve mood and increase feelings of motivation and focus. Studies have shown that coffee consumption can enhance cognitive performance in various ways. For example, a study published in the Journal of the International Society of Sports Nutrition found that caffeine improved reaction time, accuracy, and hand-eye coordination in healthy young adults. Another study published in the journal PLOS Medicine found that moderate coffee consumption was associated with a lower risk of developing dementia and Alzheimer's disease. The researchers suggest that the beneficial effect of coffee on the brain may be due to its antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. However, it is important to note that the effects of coffee on the brain can vary depending on individual factors such as age, genetics, and overall health. Additionally, excessive coffee consumption can lead to negative effects such as anxiety, insomnia, and dependence. Number 6. Blood sugar balance. Recent studies have suggested that coffee consumption may help regulate blood sugar levels, which is essential for maintaining overall health and preventing chronic conditions like diabetes. One study published in Diabetes Care found that participants who consumed 2 to 3 cups of caffeinated coffee per day had lower fasting insulin levels compared to non-coffee drinkers. Another study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that coffee consumption was associated with a lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes. The researchers suggest that the beneficial effect of coffee on blood sugar levels may be due to its ability to stimulate the release of glucose from the liver, which then gets used by the muscles, resulting in lower blood sugar levels. However, it is important to note that the effects of coffee on blood sugar levels can vary depending on individual factors such as genetics, lifestyle, and overall health. Additionally, people with diabetes should monitor their blood sugar levels closely and consult with a healthcare professional regarding their coffee consumption. Number 7. Heart health boost. Coffee has been linked to a range of potential heart health benefits, including improved blood flow, reduced risk of heart disease and stroke, and improved exercise performance. One study published in the Journal of the American Heart Association found that moderate coffee consumption was associated with a lower risk of developing cardiovascular disease and stroke. The researchers suggest that the beneficial effect of coffee on heart health may be due to its antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. Another study published in the British Medical Journal found that coffee consumption was associated with a lower risk of developing atrial fibrillation, a common type of irregular heartbeat that can increase the risk of stroke and heart failure. The researchers suggest that the beneficial effect of coffee on heart health may be due to its ability to improve blood flow and electrical activity in the heart. However, it is important to note that the effects of coffee on heart health can vary depending on individual factors such as genetics, lifestyle, and overall health. Additionally, people with pre-existing heart conditions should consult with a healthcare professional regarding their coffee consumption. Number 8. Cancer risks. Studies have found that coffee consumption may be associated with a reduced risk of certain types of cancer, including breast, colorectal, and liver cancer. One study published in the journal Cancer Epidemiology, Biomarkers and Prevention found that women who consumed 2 or more cups of caffeinated coffee per day had a lower risk of developing breast cancer. The researchers suggest that the beneficial effect of coffee on cancer risk may be due to its antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. Another study published in the journal Gut found that coffee consumption was associated with a lower risk of colorectal cancer. The researchers suggest that the beneficial effect of coffee on cancer risk may be due to its ability to improve gut health and promote healthy gut bacteria. However, it is important to note that the relationship between coffee consumption and cancer risk is complex and can vary depending on several factors, including the brewing method, the amount of coffee consumed, and individual health factors. More research is needed to fully understand the effects of coffee on cancer risk. Number 9. Sleep and energy. Everyone knows that coffee can give you a boost of energy. But did you know that it can also impact your sleep? Consuming coffee, particularly in the afternoon or evening, can interfere with your sleep-wake cycle, making it more difficult to fall asleep at night. This is because coffee has a half-life of 5 to 7 hours, meaning that it can still be present in your system and affecting your body even after several hours of consumption. Caffeine also acts as a diuretic, which means that it can increase urine production and lead to dehydration. Dehydration can make it more difficult to fall asleep and can disrupt your sleep quality throughout the night. Despite these potential drawbacks, many people still choose to drink coffee in the afternoon and evening due to its stimulating and mood-boosting effects. If you do choose to drink coffee later in the day, it is important to be mindful of the potential effects on your sleep and to stay hydrated by drinking plenty of water throughout the day. Number 10. Longevity link. Some studies have suggested that coffee consumption may be associated with a lower risk of mortality, meaning that people who drink coffee may live longer than those who don't. One study published in the Annals of Internal Medicine found that people who consumed 2 to 3 cups of coffee per day had a lower risk of all-cause mortality compared to non-coffee drinkers. The researchers suggest that the beneficial effect of coffee on longevity may be due to its antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. Another study published in the journal BMJ Nutrition, Prevention and Health found that higher coffee consumption was associated with a lower risk of death from any cause among postmenopausal women. The researchers suggest that the beneficial effect of coffee on longevity may be due to its ability to improve cardiovascular health and reduce inflammation. However, it is important to note that the relationship between coffee consumption and longevity is complex and can vary depending on several factors, including the brewing method, the amount of coffee consumed, and individual health factors. More research is needed to fully understand the effects of coffee on longevity. Alright guys, that's a wrap on today's episode. We hope that you enjoyed learning about what happens when you drink coffee in the morning. Please remember to subscribe and leave us a review so we can continue to bring you informative and entertaining content on health and wellness. Stay healthy, stay curious.